something about a 14-foot copperhead fell out of the tree across the trail.
That board's awfully weak.
Look. Like,
I think you said this tree and that tree right down there.
which one?
The one where the trash can's at.
Well, yeah, but like if I go to here, it's like way off. You must have been like.
Anybody here for the BB gun?
Oh yeah, we are. BB, y'all giving away BB gun?
No.
National BB gun contest.
No way.
Daisy factory right here.
Are you trying to steal my water?
I was trying to keep from rolling away.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
tickets. Yep, that's what we're here. You're going left or right, man.
There, honey.
Get the good part back.
You got your GoPro? Oh my gosh.
You can leave that on the counter. He'll hold it for you if you don't want to carry it. Drive safe out there. Are you with us? No,
I'm leaving. No, I'm not.
Well, I think we have everybody. I do want to welcome everyone on the Warden Cavern Tour. My name's Lance. I'm, of course, your guide today. Are you over any rules with you in the gift shop?
No.
Let's see what manager I'm looking. We got 42 rules.
There are none.
Since he didn't give you none, I'm going to go with mine. And I only have 4. They're easy too. We will stay together as a group. Stay on the paved pathways. No running, no climbing on fences.
No, no. What if I get scared? That's the only way out, man.
There's a sinkhole opened up there 9 years ago. Dropped down 10 feet overnight. When that sinkhole first opened up, it was almost a perfect tubular shape. Now 9 years time, we've got a lot of rain. Really wallowed that hole out. You look at it.
What?
7 years that sinkhole opened up, we got a heavy rain. It washed away everything in it. You got about an inch deep with every heavy rain for the first 7 years. Now, last 2 years, it hasn't been getting any deeper, but the water's still going somewhere. There has to be an opening down there to begin with, or there wouldn't be a sinkhole. And us guides believe that there's a large opening down there. So I've been going somewhere for 9 years. Now we've explored 4.5 miles deep into the cavern. And there's multiple avenues all throughout the depths. That's been going somewhere for 9 years, and us guides want to bore a hole down there, drop a light camera in and see what kind of opening we got down there. Well, the owners of this property is the Boyers. 6 years now I've been talking to Mr. Boyer about boring a hole down there, and every darn year he says something different from me. Well, he lives in Carolina now, but he just come back a couple days ago, and I'm going to have another talk with him. I don't remember what he told me every year, but I remember exactly what he said last year. Standing right there, we talked about boring a hole, and he looks at me and he says, well, Lance, jump down in there and I'll throw you a shovel. Those are his exact words, folks, quote unquote. Now, Mr. Boyer was kidding. We're going to explore that someday. We're fairly confident it's going to lead into the cavern somewhere. It could possibly be a separate cavern on its own. I can't wait to get down there and explore, but it is not going to happen with me and the shovel. Hey, kids, 3,000 years is a pretty long time, isn't it? For 3,000 years, the Osage, we pronounce it Osage Indians, they lived and traveled throughout this territory. You could almost cut Arkansas right down the middle, north to south, folks. Osage tribes having the western half going into Oklahoma ways, tribes known as the Quapaw. They had the eastern half of Arkansas going up into Missouri ways. That's typical style TP of almost every tribe throughout the entire plains. But that's not a real TP. Real TPs are 4 times bigger than that. They're bigger than the big one we got up on the hill. Now throughout all the plains, and maybe even into this area a long time ago, all TPs were covered in buffalo hide. Believe me when I tell you buffalo hide is heavy. The big TPs have a minimum of 450 pounds of buffalo hide. The Osage, like many tribes, kind of nomadic, change camp every once in a while. when it came time for them to change camp, it would only take 2 of them, approximately 2 hours. Had a big heavy teepee pulled down and all their belongings ready to go to the next camp. Anybody know who did that work? That big teepee down ready to go?
The women folk.
Women did the work, and it only took 2 of them about 2
Remember
hours.
that. Where we started from.
Yeah, and you couldn't go to the grocery store and buy my groceries then either.
The Osage were around there 3,000 years. Horses only been around about 400. Before horses came to America, those women packed that big load to the next camp. And it wasn't around the corner. It'd be many, many miles away. And again, once reaching it, it would only take 2 of those women approximately 2 hours to have that big heavy teepee set back up on Sweet Home. So all you young boys, never forget how strong women are. I just celebrated 41st anniversary, and I'm telling you.
We made it.
Phones. I forgot to mention, take pictures throughout the whole tour. Now, this is just one of the many, many inlets on Beaver Lake. This morning, it looked just like a mirror. It's called Devil's Gap. It goes right up to the face of the cavern. Now, we think the name Devil's Gap comes from the days of the moonshiners. We know moonshiners used this cavern between 100 and 150 years. The last moonshiners were just ran out of Warrior Cavern in 1964. Not that long ago for illegal moonshiners. I don't think anybody cares about moonshine anymore. It's still going on here today in Arkansas and a few other states, I guarantee you that. Have any of you ever heard of a moonshine still getting busted? I do not think the government cares about it anymore. But I've never heard about it on the news or anything. Right out in the bend there, as you're coming into the body of Beaver Lake, it's 65 feet deep on every day. The lake's down just about a foot, so it's a good 64 feet deep right out there today. That's not deep for Beaver Lake, and it's not even close. It's a mountainous area. There's places in Beaver Lake that reach 210 feet in depth. It's a big lake, and it's very important for Arkansas. Approximately 1/6 of the population of Arkansas reaches fresh water in Beaver Lake. Very important. Does anybody in this group like fishing? I think Beaver Lake is underfished. Surely. Look at my arms. I'm stretching as far as I can. The record striper bass out of Beaver Lake now is 65 pounds. The record catfish, forget about stretching my arms. No, 105-pound catfish caught out of Beaver Lake. Wow. And that's not the biggest one. There's an algae feeder in this lake. It's kind of prehistoric. It's called a spoonbill. Got a really long snout shaped like a paddle. Most people call it the paddle fish. That's an algae feeder, and it's not going to bite on anything. You have to snag them with big treble hooks, and you're only allowed to do it 2 weeks out of the entire year. It must be in designated areas where they allow you to snag those big spoonbill. Rangers and the Department of Natural Resources will be on site. If you catch a spoonbill, you're not taking it anywhere until it's cleaned, and you are not allowed to clean it, even though you caught it. Those rangers are going to clean it for you. I call that a win-win. I catch a fish, somebody cleans it for me? Well, they collect the eggs for reproduction. They say that eggs, the roe from spoonbill, are as fine a quality as sturgeon, which they make the caviar out of. If you want to take a quick look off the Eagle Point you made, on average it's 35 feet deep down there. Today it's right about 34.
Pretty water. Yeah, pretty water. Go jump, Joey.
Well, I wish I could get 10 days with no rain. If you get 10 days with no rain, this water will be blue. Just about the color of your shirt, young lady. Just about that color, almost off the money. Well, we've had rain all year long. Back in April, the lake rose 10 1/2 feet above full stage. The dam will only hold 11. Can't let much water out of this lake when it's already flooding down below. steamboat down here. Everyone is welcome to go down there after the tour. A nice boardwalk to it. We got gumballs down here at the bottom of the hill. It doesn't have gumballs. It has fish food. For quarters, you get a handful of fish food. And they can hear you coming. The fish that fill the vibration of your footsteps on that boardwalk.
They're going to be upset.
Yeah.
She said, he should pardon you because you're so close to him. Maybe you'll pick up. And he goes, he might.
Do what?
What that lady said, that guy.
Well, that limestone, reason that water's so green.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were like,
I ain't no stepping around. Big trouble rock.
We're going to gather around fossil rocks for a minute or so. Yeah. Some shorter people up front. We're looking at this yeah, down here. If this was really wet, you see a lot more fossils. Look at that one right here. Perfect heart shape, isn't it? Now that's called a brachiopod. Can anybody say brachiopod? Ah, perfect. Up from that brachiopod's another little shell right there.
I'll have another tour for you in about 20 minutes.
A little mussel lived in that shell. Ah, they found them. Lots of small, white, tubular-shaped fossils here, and they're called crinoids. They were thought to be extinct a few million years ago, but that was a mistake. In 1970, National Geographic was exploring in the Caribbean and discovered living crinoids. They can be found very, very deep in the ocean, but the minimum depth of finding is 300 feet. Fossil evidence shows the crinoid did grow 25 feet tall long ago. Today, the maximum height they find is 7 feet. Now, they're exploring for a couple weeks ago, National Geographic was, and they made that new discovery of living crinoid. The very next day, they go down to explore more. The new discovery was gone. The crinoid plants have disappeared in 24 hours time, and they couldn't figure it out. Now, we got a poster of a crinoid in the gift shop. It's on the wall at the end of the counter by the register. All you young people, remind these taller people to look at that poster. It's on the wall at the end of the counter right by the register. It just looks like a very long stem, the golden yellow plant, umbrella-shaped top, and a whole bunch of roots. Well, it disappeared in 24 hours time, the new discovery did. But they found some more. Thought they ought to study that plant a little closer, so they did. Well, not only were they not extinct, it's not a plant. Turns out it's a living animal. And it looks heavily rooted to the ocean floor. Now they know it's an animal, and they know that it can move, but they can't figure out how. And it took a long time to find out. The crinoids were discovered living in 1970, and only 6 years ago, somebody got lucky down deep, right place, right time, and got film of one moving. Get it on YouTube, folks. It's crinoid. It's right out of a science fiction movie when this thing starts to move. It releases what looks like a bunch of roots, and that umbrella-shaped top, it opens up like long fingers. Then that animal bends over. And like long fingers, it starts dragging that stem-looking body behind it till it finds a place that wants to reattach it, and upright again it goes.
That's
Check it
cool.
out. We go down to the pontoon after the tour. You can go back to the gift shop the way we came down, or go that way. It is the shortcut, half the distance back to the gift shop. Top of these steps, sharp left on the pavement, you're right in the gift shop. We got 2 covered sandboxes up there called the Big Dig. There's brushes in both. One's full of fossils. But that other sandbox, it's got one of Manny's cousins. You know Manny from the movie Ice Age, that big old woolly mammoth? We have a replica of a woolly mammoth in one sandbox. Everybody, walk right past those sandboxes and make a right turn along the fence. For me, it's only a good 1 minute walk to come to a scenic overlook. It is worth that 1 minute walk, folks. You can see the whole cavern entrance from above. This is the largest natural entrance to any cavern in the state of Arkansas and for a very wide area of the country, folks. This is the big boy. a little over 3 stories high at the face. Very, very wide. All the years I've been here, I've never got another guide brave enough to help me measure the width. They're all scared to hang out over the edge. That's a big rock. That'll probably slow you down to carry that around. Right there. Pick it up when you come back. You're going to feel... Let's go up there and we'll talk about it. You're going to feel a cool air turn as you face the cabin.
I think Uncle Tommy said that yesterday.
After the tour, I'm going to allow all of you to go into the council room, a few at a time, a family group, what have you. It's tight in there. You cannot move to the right at all, and just steps going up to the left. So we'll let you go in there a few at a time after the tour. We usually talk about bats while we're in there. You like bats, right? She asked me what I said. I'm going to tell you in a minute. We got bats, all right. 2 different species. Now, no one's going to get close to an accurate number on the population. That's impossible. As close as we can get on the population is somewhere between 150 and 200,000 bats. Now listen to this, kids. 3/4 of the bat population we have here, it is the 2nd smallest bat in the whole wide world. Right here, folks. It's called the eastern pipistrelle. Now if you remember Pippi, you're doing pretty good. That means tiny or small in Greek. Now, the adult eastern pipistrelle bat, not even close to being as big as my thumb. Very small. They weigh just a little more than a nickel. Just a little over 5 grams is all they weigh. The wingspan on the adults, well, it gets close to about 5.5-inch wingspan. But we have another bat, remember, lives here. Yeah, that other bat's not a little bitty one, I'm telling you that right now, and it's called the gray bat. And that old gray bat is a much, much bigger bat, folks. Wait a minute, it's not quite that big. Yeah, somewhere around there. 11.5-inch wingspan. Pretty good for a bat, actually. We never found a 1-footer. Most likely, we are not going to see a bat today. It's that time of year. We'll talk a little more about it later, but I don't care. I don't care if I take one person in here or a group this big. I'll let them all know something. It hadn't happened to me this year, and I hope it happens on this tour. Now, we don't know what's going on in the depths of the caverns, but once in a while, they get stirred up back there, and here they come. I'm talking 10, 20, 30,000 all at once, right in the middle of the day. I don't care if 10,000 bats come at us down a narrow hallway, not one of you will be touched. No human being's ever had a bat fly into them, and I don't care what they tell you. Never happened. That echolocation system works way too well to be flying into anything. Those little pipistrelles, this is called absolute total darkness, a lot different than cloudy moonless night. Those little pipistrelles in that darkness can fly straight into a crack that's no bigger than that. And they're doing it in the dark, so don't worry about them flying into you. Now, I'll tell you something else. I don't know if anybody ever really believes me, but I tell everyone anyway. The echolocation system that bats have, it works exactly the same as dolphins. Dolphins' bats, they're not a world apart. They're worlds apart. For them to have anything in common, it truly amazes me. It is just amazing. A few steps up this pathway on the wall on the left, there's a very large, natural, beautiful formation. And I don't know why people do it, but every year people point their finger at me and go, now Lance, somebody made that. You can tell it was all made by nature. I don't know why people say that. Big medicine, bring good spirits to the Osage. Even in this area, most of what they needed came from the buffalo, and you're going to see the great buffalo. You'll be amazed, folks. I'm going to settle in and get a picture. When we get heavy rains, it looks like this buffalo head's crying. Heavy rains causes drops of water to slowly come out of that little crack right there. It looks like it's crying. We will see a lot of brown today. It's called flowstone, and there are different types. This type of flowstone is created from iron in the water. Another type is created just like stalactites and stalagmites. In columns, they're all created from calcite. Rainwater, melting snow filters through the earth, collects calcite from the lime rock, finds a place to start dripping. Eventually, it creates stalactites. Now, that might have been big medicine to the Osage. I guarantee you right now, the 3,000 years the Osage were around here, not one Osage Indian ever went into this cavern. Not a one in 3,000 years. They were very, very superstitious. They would never lose sight of daylight or the outside world. The hallway we're going to walk through was hammered and picked open, folks, and I'd like to repeat that. This hallway was hammered and picked open by a very little old man named J.R. Wallace. He completed this hallway in 1976, but if you went in here before 76, you had one option. One way in, one way out. Just go through that cold waterway. It is over 200 feet through that cold waterway before you get into the cavern, and two places you got to get in it on your hands and knees. Nobody's going or coming the old way without getting soaking wet, and that means cold. They wouldn't go in there, the Osage. They had a great fear if they ventured into that darkness. They feared that their spirits would somehow get separated from them and lost in the dark. And no one's ever found any evidence of an Indian being in here. There sure is a different story with the Europeans. Boy, coming over to the New World, when they got off them old boats, they had nothing. But Europeans knew what riches were, and they wanted to find some in the New World. All those things that didn't mean squat to the Indians. So when they discovered the cavern in the New World, they explored them extensively, looking for them riches, and they did this cavern also. Now, they never found riches in this cavern, but they sure have left their marks. I've been 4.5 miles deep. You wouldn't believe how many dangerous areas are in this cavern, but we found carvings 4 miles deep. It was all done in the dark. The oldest date we found so far was 1865, and that was Civil War time. Union armies told stories, Confederates were fighting out here, and the Confederates said the Union army was fighting in here. What knowledge has told us it's well over 100 years old. And this is the most popular style that's ever made. This still is different than all stills. This still is small. They're usually 100, 200, 300 gallons. We're going to make a profit. That wasn't for profit. It wouldn't make 2 gallons in a batch. But if you think about it, when you have to get on your hands and knees in that cold water crawling in, this is small enough to pull in with you. When they get them all fired up, the alcohol's in that line, they like to keep it in a tight coil. They called it the worm. The alcohol will go through the worm and into a catch pot like that back in the day. We know it's over 100 years old. They haven't made catch pots like that for nearly 100 years. We don't know if you can find another one. Possibly in a museum, but I have a tendency to think if somebody finds another catch pot like that, I think they'll be stuck back in a really, really old barn somewhere. Well hidden. Yeah, old town right here. Okay, I lost my father. They said they couldn't make things come and get far away from the cabin. They left a few props for us. That old coal oil lantern, torches and saddlebags, some of the props they got and left for us. We do have copies of the movie in the gift shop if you're interested. You probably noticed it playing on this little TV back by the bathrooms. I don't know how you can miss it. It plays up there every day. Okay, we're moving down to dome number 2. Dome number 2 is a tall one of the day. Right up there to the left. Short people go right up there and showing up. Done. That one's 65 feet high. You're a little over 140 feet underground right there. The farther into this cavern you go, the deeper you are in the ground. That's a tall mountain outside. We're going straight into it.
You want this back? I'll put this back in my pocket.
Getting water drops out of that one? I already got mine today. I'm in dome number 3. You want to lucky water drops, stand under dome number 3. I take my hat off under there first every morning. So you get a few lucky water drops on my scalp. I'll get everywhere you need your hair. If I lose my hair, people run from me. It has to look like a little nice scar on my scalp on me. My daughter is doing very well, so that's not by it. Thank you very much. One person might go down. You don't go down and hold it.
Scared you.
Right down this ramp, as you can see, Headache Rock. I am over 6 feet tall. It takes me 10 good steps to get under Headache Rock. Before we go into there, I'd like to let you know, if you don't already, Arkansas is the quartz crystal capital of the entire world. Just beyond Headache Rock and right by light, there are 2 large, beautiful examples of Arkansas quartz crystal, and just beyond that to the left is dome number 3. Once you step on this ramp, I'm going to stand on this side, let's go. You're going to check out the crystals on the right by the light. If you want to, you go a little farther, put it on ahead. Up through the head, everyone. Crystals on the right, put it on the head on the left.
We'll have to draw on it.
Watch your head, watch your head. Get down longer on that right side, sir. I thought you had something to say. I'm just waiting for it.
No, I was going through it, that's right.
Watch your head. Pistol's on the right, third on the head on the left.
Make it.
Hard. Aren't they beautiful? Beautiful. Getting drops on it? If we get a 3-inch rain overnight, stand under dome number 3 at 8 a.m. and shampoo your hair. Heavy rains, it comes down right there. But you wouldn't want to. Kind of water comes through the earth and reaches here, it's about 48 degrees. Okay, guys. Good job, by the way. Right there, young lady. Ahead of us, a few steps, there's a large flowstone jutting out. All throughout this flowstone and the seating on both sides, you have life. Living, growing, thriving right there in caverns. Marine biologists, and scientists are all in agreement. They tell us this life is cave coral. They tell us it is directly related to the coral in the reefs throughout the ocean of the world. But if you question those smart people about that, they only have one simple thing to say. Well, they made the big leap. That's it. That's all they got to say. They made the big leap to try the salt water over fresh water. Now, it's never got sunlight down here, so it does not have a beautiful color. It's all gray in color. In case you don't know it, coral is the most fragile life on this entire planet. The most fragile. If you're on a coral reef or here, if you touch one piece of coral one time, one bare fingertip, you just destroyed a large area of coral. It's that fragile. That oil we can't see or feel on our skin, touch coral, deadly to it. It will kill a large part of that coral. Now it's thriving on something from our spring water. Gray color. Some right here, kids, look over your head. Living coral. No, you don't want to touch that stuff. Isn't that cool? And there's a lot more, both sides of the flowstone. When we pass the flowstone, a lot of tall people, watch your head. It's going above, away from the flowstone on the far side. All right, there's more. Look up there, there's more coral. Yeah, look up here, look inside. There's a lot more up there. Yeah, all great, living coral. Right here, folks, you watch your head and look right there. Crunchy peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Very good. Can you guys? Our beautiful flowstone falls. Again, the found from iron and water. But above the falls, there are 3 pools. That closest pool, 3 inches deep. Certain pools are back 5 inches deep. Water filled in those pools by real stone dams, also came from iron water. Nice little ripple effect coming down the front there. Now, if you really right spot over there, you can see it goes pretty darn far way back there. That is the only place in the entire cavern that we could get into, but we haven't. We've never allowed anyone to crawl over the limestone bowls to clear a tug of damage to them. Ready to sit down? Be careful. Well, deep the cavern, we do have life in the water. We have a very small group of cave fish, a little over a half inch long, about 1 line, and a very small quantity of sweet-like species. And those just very long, and they're on the line. 10 years ago, the tour is right here. Because that's an environment upset by federal law, before we would pay out the hallway from the government officials to come down and check it all out. And then they both listen to go and sign papers before we could do it. This hall is only 82 feet long, but we spent 5 months, 5 days a week digging it out. They hauled out over 300 tons of rock, folks, and it's all hauled out here in the wheelbarrow. Nothing motorized brought into this cavern. No longer starts with a single bat. It does not disturb the natural course of this waterway. If you want to go further than this, just 11 years ago, maybe 111 years ago, what you did, you got on your hands and knees right here. And you started crawling back in that cold water. You was there before 1976, and you was wet and cold already coming up through the waterway. Make it back there in the dark, back in that water again, never knowing what's a few feet ahead of you. Full oil lanterns, of course, is not bright, folks. And if you take this to type passageway, take it again. A little over a mile back from here, there are 2 passageways we have been through, and we started on them. This will be the first year in over 25 years we have not taken wild swampy tours. We're going to do something back there, so this year we're not taking people. So usually we do take people back there from July 4th through October. Now, one person, no, we haven't taken back there in years, so there's no stuff in 2 passageways. You gotta lay flat on the belly to get through, folks, through these passageways. Not so flat in the water. And hands out in front of you. You're pulling your whole body through with fingers, tips, and elbows, but you cannot see where you're going, no matter what kind of light. You're on your belly like this, folks, pull yourself through, and your head just gets really sharp to the side like this, because there's only a 4-inch airspace. 4 inches to breathe going through there, and never more. But when we get rain, it's less. Now, of course, a full oil lantern will not fit through a 4-inch air opening. Whoever did all these charges back there had to do it with candle power. And candles are not the same in this place. We have nice thin wallable ceilings in our home. Light a candle, put it on your table. You see it on our table pretty good. It's not the same down here. This old rock, rough, dull and cold, porous. And when the light hits it, it stops right there. If I did that in your home, it would light up a half a room at least. And now candle. The smaller the space, the stronger the earth and it is. I don't know how to get candles there. There ain't no people holding fires like that. You know the smoke?
How could you climb up through there? Yeah.
You won't be going though.
I went on a caving. Me and Randy did. Me and Randy went on a caving thing where you had to get down like that. It had the hard hats and the light on it, elbow pads, knee pads. Where we climbed up in crevices like that for a little ways and you open it to another room. It was really fun.
Do that now.
Yeah, you can.
Hardly looks like water there, does it? Not me. Almost got everybody? Yep, you got everybody. All right.
It looks so clear.
Just last year, the tour ended right there. This boardwalk is all brand new this year. We had another 150 feet to our tour. Watch your head coming through here. It gets a little tight, but everybody can make it. Watch your head, watch your step. You're going first.
Yeah, I'll see y'all, Pokey. No way y'all get back in that car. I'll show y'all. I think I touch that. I said, I think I touch that rock right. Well, I know ain't nothing gonna happen to me. I didn't have bacon for breakfast. He ain't gonna call me home till I get a big plate of bacon.
Come on in. It's a pretty good boardwalk. It'll hold us out here.
Let's hope.
All this was finished one day before we opened this year.
One day.
We didn't know if that log crew was gonna do it or not. They'd leave at noon some days and not even come back the next day. The boss thought we ought to help them. We carried 2 of these big panels down here for them. They weigh 320 pounds apiece, and when we set the second one down, my manager said they can do their own work. But we were back here in January. Let me get up this way as I can, get up here. Now, we were back here in January. One of our fellow guys was standing right here. And he's looking at all the names and initials scratched in the rock. And I'm telling you folks, they're everywhere throughout this cavern. But he saw that Z and that J right there. It's scratched up a little bit past it, but it says Blackburn. Oh man, was he an important man in this area. That gentleman built that 3-story mill just 4 miles from here. What an accomplishment. It was a major rendezvous point. People from 50 plus miles away trying to scratch a living out of this rocky soil. They bring their greens and flowers to be ground over there. But old Zeb, he had 6 grandsons. All 6 joined the Confederate Army. When they were being defeated here and retreating, they actually burned down the War Eagle Mill. So Union soldiers couldn't get any grain or flour sources. And I think it had just been one terrible thing if one of his own 6 sons in the Confederate Army had been involved in burning down Dad's mill. I couldn't have done it. It actually burned down once more many years later, and I believe it was his grandsons rebuilt it the second time. But he was an important man. He was all over the news past couple of weeks of February. Now see that light back there, folks?
Yeah.
That's the last of the power in this entire cavern. From right here, you can actually go 4 miles straight back. But it's not easy to get back there. There are many, many, many different avenues and waterways all over the place. Many dangers. So you gotta keep your thinking cap on when you go to caverns. Over 3,000 have been found in Arkansas, 6,000 in Missouri. You or anybody you know ever discovered caverns, do not go in them alone. I suggest 3 sources of light, batteries for them all, and you must tell somebody where you are going. Because if you get deep in the cavern and lose your light, you sit down. Do not try to crawl out in the dark. There are way too many dangers and many, many strange effects to the human mind. I'll talk about that more in a minute. You guys want to circle around, let the others come back. You got lights on your phones. You can see ZJ Blackburn's carving. He had put his name back there in the early 1800s. Everybody watch your head, watch your step when you exit. Take your time. Back in the way.
Go ahead.
Where? We're gonna get lost.
Oh, you're fine. I just didn't want you to back up on me.
Yeah, I'm sure you kids will love this.
No, I only saw the picture of it. I saw the picture. Yeah. I didn't see it. Because our parents were making us stand back.
Coming up this way, watch your head coming up. The first dome here is 45 feet high. No fun unless you see the top, and it's loaded with calcite rope stones. I have never been up there. I've never been allowed to go up there. No one can go up there. Not me, not anyone else. There's 4 levels. You get to the second level up there, and you start crawling that direction, about 150 feet, you're going to come into a pretty good sized room. Deep in the cavern, there's 2 more like it, and they're all 3 called maternity wards. 8 weeks ago, all the bats came out of hibernation. When they came out of hibernation, every single female bat in this cavern gathered in between the maternity ward rooms to have babies, and that's where they are right now. Usually, the babies are flying around July 4th, and they are right now, as of about 4 days ago, a little early this year. Now, there's a big reason I can't go up there. 1980, the federal government in the United States passed a law. Canada followed suit. That law states any cave or cavern in North America with a bat population, be it only 3 bats or 3 million, the law says absolutely nothing can be removed. This is privately owned. We cannot take a rock or pebble out here without permission from the government. The reason bats are protected so well is because of the pollinators, and they're big ones. They're up close to bees, folks, as pollinators. There's more billions and billions and billions of bats on the planet than we can comprehend, and they're flying long distances at night, folks. These little picture 5.5-inch wingspan, see them flying around Fayetteville. 45 miles from here the way the crow flies, and they're not flying in a straight line. Almost all bat species fly in a figure-8 pattern when you're out feeding. Now, all those billions and billions and billions of bats on the planet, every wing flap and every bat in the world at night is gathering airborne pollen on their fur. And every wing flap, they spread that pollen throughout their long, long flights. We can't do it without bees, folks, and we cannot do it without bats. We must protect them and their environment. I can't even put the head out of this cavern without permission. Let's talk about outlaws. You kids know anything about outlaws? Bad people outlaws. It is well documented about outlaws in Arkansas and Missouri, especially Frank and Jesse James. Frank and Jesse James ran from the law a good 14 years. On occasion, they'd hide out front in that council room. They did so once in a while because they wanted to visit a grandfather that homesteaded only 4 miles down the road. Well, they couldn't ride up to this place, so they'd hide here. Then said Grandpa would get worried if he won't ride in his wagon and sneak it to the homestead. Well, after however long it is, we got them off here and they're going up to bad deeds. Hollywood found out about it. Hollywood asked permission to film part of a movie on this very spot in 1994. Movie titled Frank and Jesse. Well, Rob Lowe stars as Jesse James, also co-produced the movie. Bill Paxton as Frank James, and big star, if you like country music, Randy Travis portrays Cole Younger. Now, they only filmed this one spot, period. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, did they have trouble and lots of it. It took them 14 full days to get 4 minutes of film in one spot. The old director, no, it's not a real fire. The director wouldn't have that in his movie. Yeah. It would take them several hours to get a few seconds without a bat in it. I want you to think about something. They came to film December 1st. The mailbat's just returned for the mating season. You think that mating season happened in the depths of the cavern, you think again. For 2+ weeks, 24 hours a day, non-stop. Try to imagine right now a minimum of 100,000 bats flying around you. And it's more than that time of year during the mating season. It's a wall, it's a curtain of bats. Hours to get a few seconds, take after take after take. By that time, they got to go up the hill for makeup. So they come right back down, try it again. It's the same deal. Back up the hill again, whatever. Cast and crew was getting upset. It was cold out that December 1994. They didn't like our Ozark Hill, and they had to walk up it 3 or 4 times a day for 4 straight days, just for that 4 minutes of film. Wow.
He did it so good. He did? Yeah. Second time.
I was over here to turn off the light.
Scratched out the last bit of my hair I got in my bald spot.
Have an experience with you all. You know if you guys will laugh?
No, there's
Nope.
2 more.
2 more.
All right, probably wouldn't be happy if I turned the light on.
No, not now.
Hey guys, are you still coming? I see your shadows in the water. I can see your legs shadows in the water. All right.
44 degrees.
You are last? Yep. Hold your head here now. Yep. All right.
Let's fix turn the lights out.
Squeezed by this really large man.
Oh, my.
That's Uncle Tom.
Tom, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. You're doing a good job.
We offer every group a chance to experience absolute total darkness. If everyone in this group will agree, stop up here a few steps. I can shut the light up for a few seconds. Show you what that one candle fire looks like.
Remember? And it's dark in here too.
Just a little bit. Savannah.
It's called pitch black.
Good spot. Best spot. Thank you, Savannah. I do have to ask one more time. Does everyone agree to do the lights out? Okay. One person says no, and I'm not allowed to do it. Some people have that fear, that phobia, and we're not allowed to scare them more. But they usually keep on walking and wait for it to the other side of the block. First of all, do not let go of the young one's hands. And if they were any smaller, we make parents pick up small children. There are many strange effects to the human mind if you get trapped in this kind of darkness. Now there becomes a fear. I'm over 70, folks. I'm too old to be scared of anything. If I get back deep in the cavern and lose my light, there will be fear. That fear is causing a very heavy brain activity, and it won't stop seeking light, vision, and color, and it is causing damage to your eyesight in just 2 short weeks. That's nothing compared to some of the effects. You cannot even lay down in that darkness, rock, dirt, and mud and go to sleep either. The brain activity is that heavy, folks, it won't allow you to sleep. The only way you're going to get rest, if you want to call it that, is 3+ days into it when complete and total physical exhaustion takes over and you fall out. That's not my kind of rest. Now, the reason we want very small children picked up and held, you can tell a very small child not to move. But if you're not holding them, they may do something as simple as this. Turn around in one spot. You do not want to do it. It'll mess up your balance and equilibrium that fast. More likely than not, you will be falling over, but you won't realize you're falling over. True. We don't want kids falling over on this rock, and we don't want adults falling over it either. Now, we keep everybody here for the full effect. You do not want to see a dim light beyond Headache Rock, this spot. I'm going right over here and shut off the lights. I do have to run to the gift shop and get a candle. It's going to take about 30 minutes.
This is when Sasquatch comes back.
You got to resort to candle power. They're turning moving. That's pretty good one candle flame. When I think back 150 years or so, somebody in the Caverns candles, I know they had a lot on their mind. I think I know at least two things on their mind. The first thing on their mind had to be, oh boy, sure hope this candle doesn't go out. A lot of water dripping in the caverns, and one drop will put your candle out. But what I think is most important long ago, that's worry about keeping matches dry. They didn't have Ziploc baggings 150 years ago. They got deep in the cavern with wet matches, lost their light source. To this day, they still have 2 words for them poor souls. 2 words are, they're done. Sit down, folks, because you will not make it out. You will be injured. You told somebody where you were going, eventually they'll come and get you out. If y'all would, I'd really like you to just follow my voice on the way out. I was just testing that.
He said sit down.
All passed the test. Nobody moved. I get the light on. Everybody like crocodiles? You walk past a big old crocodile coming in, and you gotta walk past it to get out. This crocodile's got a big old green head on him about that long. He only has one eye, so I call him One-Eyed Jack. And he's actually been here so long he turned to stone. He's on the right side of Headache Rock. Yeah. Headache Rock, Crocodile Rock, or One-Eyed Jack. Watch your head, you're gonna see that big green head on the crocodile. Yeah, pretty strong.
Water's cold, somehow I got my son.
You gotta get just about to that ramp now before you stand up good. Headache Rock and Crocodile Rock. So One-Eyed Jack, he's been here so long his teeth fell out. Yeah. I went to another doctor, just like, hell, I couldn't get out of bed. Had no energy. Went to another doctor, she got all the medical reports on the first one. Good my Lord. they tested you for 4 tick-borne diseases, but not Lyme disease. She got me phone to them at the other hospital. I said, well, it's not prevalent on here. There's already 3, but I got mine. And then 5 years after I had a massive heart attack. So I've lost a lot of weight the past couple of years. Remember them little tiny crinoid fossils up in Fossil Rock? Look up. Looks like a worm. You look at the poster in the gift shop, it just looks like the stem of a plant. That's the body. Right over here, a couple of real short pieces, but they're the largest thing that I've ever seen. We do know for fossil evidence they do 25 feet tall. I'm not going to tell you that's 25 feet tall, I have no idea. But I guarantee it's a lot longer than that one right there. And remember this, that was all on the ocean floor. All of this land rose up from the ocean floor long, long way up.
What? Why?
I'm gonna watch one Instagram.
Watch your head right here, call this the head knocker. Watch your foot, call this hill.
Trying to what shiny it is.
Baby's just born. He was right on July 4th, and it's a couple days late. There's a whole month that's coming out of hibernation. It's cold late. And they're all coming out. They know when there's a food source. I want to thank all of you for coming today. You made my day. I am not kidding you. And I can't believe this size group is as quiet as you were. And that's good. If you want to see more, be quiet. You didn't really see much. I think Solomon were over there. But I do want you to enjoy all the beauty, and you got till 5 o'clock to do it. You can look down this chimney from above, walk past some sandboxes. You got the lookout point. And even if you don't feed the fish, you're still welcome to go down the pontoon. I got to take care of these young people before you take off. There you go. That's for fish food now. Thanks for being my blockers and my helpers. There you go, young man. So little guy over here, you going down to feed that fish? You going to feed fish? All right, I'm running low on quarters. Maybe you guys can share. Can you share? Any more kids? Okay. You're on your own now. We do have a guest book under that TV. Care to leave a note and let us know where you're coming from. Owners appreciate it.
Now, what we walked through just a minute ago, that was the man-made tunnel in, that is the man-made hole that we walked into as well, where the gate is. You notice also you can see the sky through there. That's where a lot of the warm air in our area. It's a big air coming out of the big entrance, plus you have airflow from outside coming through that area through the tunnel. That's all that whole air flow inside and outside. That's also what
Huh?
Tell me to watch my head. I said, mine's not right.
Going in work. No, I'll clean it up on the ground. I'll wait on you. No, I'm good. I gotta pay them when I was a little kid, taught to watch my head. I don't need to do that.
What's your head? Yes.
Sawyer, put your hand up. Put it under there. You're gonna get it.
Let's think about that. Let's not worry about it.
Where's your hand? Give me a hand.
Maggie, wait.
This is the gumball machine. You got a quarter? Put it in there.
Don't let that thing outsmart you there, Coach.
I'm trying.
I do have a bar in the car.
There you go.
Or get 3 pieces of chewing gum at one time.
Some behind us, so we'll save some, please. Save some.
No, it's about empty. I'm just having to shake it. Put your hand sideways up against it. There you go.
You can make it like a wishing well.
Yeah. I know, there's some right here too. Come get, there's just this last little.
Somebody hold a board just in case we'll have a paddle.
I thought we was going to go for a ride when I saw it.
We'll get on it. We'll go for a ride.
They should have a little motor and take you to right there. Look how beautiful.
Lake tour. Little quick trip around the cove. Y'all get on.
That made me feel nervous.
Y'all get all on. I'll untie it.
I'm not on my lightest weight to be walking a plank.
These fish are tired of eating.
You're good. It's bolted and I made it. Oh, it's not bolted? It
is
bolted.
I don't want to
hit my ankle. Getting on here makes me nervous. Get off. Don't play. I'm not going in that water craft. If you fall in, you're just going to float away.
I'll get you, Sawyer.
Get out the
Don't worry about it. You're going back to Georgia. Soaking wet or not.
I said, what if the rope's broken? Then all of our teams floating down.
Sorry, we're late.
We've been drifting on the lake for 3 days, like Gilligan's Island.
He's hungry, he wants supper. Grab one.
If you sit up there, you can see like all the fish.
There's some channel cat right here.
Everybody's on that side.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Stop.
That's just sitting there thinking. The kid paid for feed to come down there and feed his old fish.
I'm going to go in the thin one. I want to feel all the water.
They didn't hear the big diesel engine.
Yeah, click.
That turtle was cracking me up. That's what I look like swimming. I'm serious.
I would say some of the feeding system.
I think
Look at that. Why come our turtles don't eat the fish food like that turtle did?
Huh? Because they're used to
These heard you coming on the
a little
vibration.
gunfire around them when that fish gets in the water. Makes them a little scared. I'm telling you, that's a daggum. Right there, that's a...
Must be a
Where at?
log or something. Where it's
Going
just
back to
way
the-
down in the middle.
That's just a log.
Yeah. Part of this tree that got chopped down.
That's a Loch Ness monster.
Be like that lost sea up there. You can go up there and feed them trout. They're that long in it. But it's that.
The one under the mountain.
Yeah, it's in the.
You ride the boat up there?
No, you walk. You have to walk down there and then you walk. They got a walkway like that one we was on a while ago.
They
Yeah.
got a boat in there, a glass bottom boat.
Yeah, but I think they quit going in the boat. They built a platform, a floating platform out into the water.
We ain't been that. We've been going to go by there.
It's pretty cool. I ain't believing that wire's that slick.
Bottom steps down there.
Yeah, that's what Michaela said.
Appreciate you showing that to me.
Yeah.
Just before I fell off. That's gonna be a pull back up to the top, boy.
Well, and this is the short one, he said. To go back the other way, it's the long way.
Yeah, but it's a lot of uphill, so to get you a cheap back with a motor on it.
My dad did that one time. The last time he did it, he said he got to some point and he said, I'm gonna throw my bike down in this woods if somebody don't come get me. I'll just lay here. Because I'm not riding this bike any further. In Caves Cove. Bet that loop is longer than you think.
We're going shortcut. Yeah. Shortcut. It looks like it's pretty straight up.
The mouth of the cave.
No cell phone service down here.